Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report here from Top Producer Summit in Kansas City. Peter Meyer, Chip Flory, as well as Mila Bezzetta joining us this weekend on the show. Pete, I'm going to start with you. We're going to focus on renewable diesel, sustainable aviation fuel. You've been following the crush capacity. As you look right now, where does crush capacity set, and how do you see that growing over the next 2 years?
Well, I mean, we see it growing probably about another 10% in the next few years. I mean, certainly we've seen some expansion there. Really, the renewable diesel market is the one that's been taking off. They're still using a tremendous amount of soybean oil besides the used cooking oil and fats and tallows. So the soybean oil crush has to keep up here if we want to continue this path. And certainly if you look at a state that has an LCFS like California, they just released their data from last year time, and it's a remarkable drop in their carbon score. They really, the LCFS is working. If California is going to be your test case, it's working very well.
Chip, what has been the biggest hurdle in bringing more plants online?
Time. It just takes time to bring more crush facilities online. The money is being spent. The refiners have made the investment in the crush facilities. Look at the trends in the supply and demand report. Over the last 2 years, we've gone from 2.2 to 2.3 billion bushels of soybean crush. Our soybean meal stocks have gone from 300,000 to 400,000. So we're adding to the meal stocks, but then look at your bean oil stocks. Down from about 2 billion pounds to 1.5 billion pounds over the last 2 years. The trends that you said we needed to watch for 3 years ago are happening, Pete. The trends are happening. It's coming. It's just time.
Pete, slower than expected?
Oh, absolutely. But it's, building new crush plants really is a very, very difficult thing. But, look at all the issues that happen with shell rock out there in Iowa. But more it's enhancement is what the big players, Chevron, Marathon, they're paying for enhancements with Bunge and that sort of stuff. And that takes time as well. We've had supply chain issues as well right before this. You need steel, you need product. It's hard.
And then the other thing that we've got to look at is some of the rules and regulations and incentives that are out there and how long it has taken to get some of the incentives in place.
Yeah, so Mila, from your standpoint, Southwest Airlines, as you look at this potential demand and this growth, what has been the biggest hurdle in getting enough SAF today?
Yeah, I mean, like they all say too, it's expensive, it's hard. These SAF plans are complicated. They're difficult to bring online, but the credits are really just critical for us to get. We need more credits, we need deeper credits. Southwest, we have spent a lot of our efforts trying to explain just the cost of producing, this wasn't surprise anyone, right? This is just factual. The cost of producing SAF is always going to be more expensive than oil. Like turning corn, switchgrass, whatever, is always going to be more expensive. So we are reliant on credits. When fuel is 30% of our operating costs, and we have pretty razor-thin margins, we need these credit incentives to be deeper and more. So yeah, we push every day. That's really going to, I think, unlock volumes.
$1.75 a gallon is an important number to the sustainable aviation fuel business.
Right, that's right.
They're very airlines have to be pragmatic, right?
Yeah.
When we talk to them all the time, whether it's Southwest, United, Delta, they're like, Pete, we want to be in, but we got to be pragmatic about it. If it costs us too much, we're out.
Well, and we saw this new LanzaJet plant come online. Exciting, thinking this is going to be open a new door. But are they even producing sustainable aviation fuel at this point from products here in the U.S.?
Not U.S.-based products, right. So their feedstock today is sugarcane ethanol from Brazil. I think a lot of that, to my understanding, I don't want to put words in LanzaJet's mouth, is so the carbon intensity of that ethanol is lower than corn. You all know, sugarcane, you can just produce more ethanol. It has more sugars available than corn does, so it's just better yields, and it just grows prolifically in South America. So we need corn ethanol to come online. We need to reduce the carbon intensity of that, and then we really will be shifting that into other feedstocks of places like LanzaJet.
And how they're powering those plants. Does that impact their carbon intensity score?
Yes, that's a good point. So there are some facilities that use biomass boilers. So they take sugar, bagasse, or bamboo in some facilities. They burn it for their boilers instead of using fossil fuels, and that significantly decreases their carbon intensity. So I think carbon sequestration is the next piece too that also helps bring down that carbon intensity score. So we need the carbon pipelines to be the CO2 pipelines to be built here. We need that. Every avenue that we can get to sequester and reduce carbon is going to be important for us.
Now you're into the controversy.
Yeah, I said a dirty word. Sorry about that. Yeah.
All right, well, we are just getting started. We do need to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with much more right here on U.S. Farm Report.